Paris-Nice Stage 4 in 2026 is a stage that nobody who was watching will forget, although plenty who were riding will wish they could forget. Horrendous weather, crosswinds from the start, and excitement to the end. It was all set to be a very big day. When everybody rolled up, the brollies were out in Bourges for the run to Ushant. 195 kilometres, plenty of climbing to be done, most of it in the final third. This is where the real uphill difficulties begin in this race. Still without touching any of the big mountain ranges. In fact, this stage visiting France's smallest, the Morvan. Most of that elevation taken on towards the end. 2,500 metres of climbing and roads that we saw in the 2021 Tour de France. It just took a couple of kilometres for the peloton to split into three. 40 riders were at the front with 55 kilometres remaining. Kevin Vauquelin, second in the GC, had been caught in the second group. Carlos Rodriguez and a few others caught in a third group. There was an issue for Oscar Onley. He'd already had a crash and had to change his bike inside the final 55 Ks. Crucially, Vingegaard, race leader Ayuso were all in the front group. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe was the team pushing on for Dani Martinez. Vauquelin was doing his best to try and close the gap. He cut a frustrated figure in the white Best Young Riders jersey. Then a nightmare crash. Down Brandon McNulty. He'd be out with a knee injury. But also Juan Ayuso, race leader in the yellow jersey. Tried to get back on his bike, but quickly realised that something serious was up. And this image was how his sports director Stephen de Jong found him, lying by the side of the road, struggling. He would abandon the race and go off to hospital. Further up the road, that crash had made a gap at the front of the race. 3 Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe riders to accompany Dani Martinez and Jonas Vingegaard. The VIP guest, well, the uninvited guest won the intermediate sprint and took 6 bonus seconds. Behind, Kevin Vauquelin, perhaps on his way back to Oscar Onley. He was trying as Nico Dens was out of gas and we're into the final 25 Ks. Georg Steinhauser was the lone rider in a second group. He was at over a minute. The only group eventually caught by Vauquelin. David Gaudu was in that group as well. Martinez, Soler, the latter former winner of Paris-Nice, now the team leader with McNulty gone for UAE. But the gaps were huge for a stage 4 of Paris-Nice. The Van Dijker brothers were still with Colombian Dani Martinez, and Vingegaard, well, he was looking good. Steinhauser at a couple of minutes at this point, but trying to get onto the GC podium of a Paris-Nice that will have a lasting change after this stage. Mick van Dijker was the first to pull off in the final couple of kilometres for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Tim van Dijker was still there at almost 4 minutes. The Vauquelin group was looking at each other. Tim van Dijker doing a brilliant job in almost to the final kilometre. Was Dani Martinez about to go on the 20% gradients? No, it would be Jonas Vingegaard with one attack, one move, and Martinez was unable to follow. Back racing in France at his first race of this season, and after setbacks had delayed his start, Jonas Vingegaard here was looking fine. The conditions were horrendous for everybody. And after all of that work, Red Bull unable to finish it off. Vingegaard, though, would be victorious. A first win of the season. He's exactly where he needs to be heading to the Giro Tour double. He put 41 seconds on the road into Dani Martinez. Tim van Dijker with a superb performance in third. His brother Mick in fourth. A Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe 2, 3, 4. Missing out on the one. Kevin Vauquelin cutting a very frustrated figure as he crossed. What a day for Jonas Vingegaard. A big stage win, bonus seconds as well. Steinhauser in 5th. And that means he's up onto the GC podium for now. The yellow jersey on the back of Jonas Vingegaard. He had it for a day last year before crashing out. His lead's good here. He'll be hoping to try and take it to Nice. His first solo stage win in Paris-Nice, a 43rd victory of his career. At a 52-second gap over Martinez, Steinhauser up onto the podium, 3:20 from first to third, at already 19 seconds in front of Vauquelin. That fight will continue. Of course, those two will be going for the white jersey as well. There are 6 minutes, 32 seconds in Paris-Nice between the first and 10th position. The next stage is the longest of the week, 205 kilometres, 3,000 metres of climbing, and an uphill finish in the Ardèche. They'll be hoping the weather's better. Plenty to take stock of before they get there. You can watch the stage and the rest of Paris-Nice on TNT Sports.